Hello, EverGreenCoin community. Welcome to the Greeny Report for February 2019. Today's date is February 28th, 2019. I hope you're all doing well. Jumping into things, the market looking on the upside since our last community update video. Seems like we're holding above 600 Satoshi now. Which we were down to 500 Satoshi during the last update, so that's some good progress. Hopefully it continues. Volume is on the lowest side. We have had days where volume has been better, up to, well, better relatively speaking, up to 1 BTC. There has been some comments made on Bitcoin Talk about Bittrex delisting for volume. This volume being low like this is industry-wide. Bittrex is very aware of that. EverGreenCoin is in no danger from delisting from Bittrex. And if we were, Bittrex would give us an opportunity to create more volume. They're very communicative with me, and they have not communicated anything like any warning of a delisting. In that event, we would have sufficient time to correct it if that ever did happen. So, and of course I would let you guys know that. Okay, so yeah, things looking on the upside as far as the market, so that's great news. Okay, and even bigger news, we did just today, a few hours ago, receive our certificate from Corporate Vision magazine, or rather the publisher of Corporate Vision magazine, AI Global Media Limited. So that's awesome. This is just a digital certificate. We do not have a print certificate yet. I am going to see if or try to raise the money. They have trophies and things that we can get. So I might, you guys might see a crowdfund in the very near future, trying to raise money for the trophy. So whenever we get official office or anything like that, we will have that trophy. So looking forward to that. Regardless if we do that or don't do that, a tremendous honor. Let's see, on the website, I do have it linked, the actual PDF document, the actual edition of Corporate Vision, their second issue for 2019. You'll see that link down here from an update I posted yesterday on the 27th, and today I just posted the certificate because we just got it. Okay, so that's awesome. Finally, I know I mentioned that to you guys several months ago, back in 2018, that we had been selected, but now it is official. It is in print. We do have the certificate, so awesome news. Hopefully that gains a lot of exposure for the Evergreen Foundation Incorporated. So tremendous news. So proud of that. Okay, let's see. One thing I wanted to touch on was Cryptopia. As I had mentioned in the last video update, they had suffered a hack. Since then, the New Zealand police have left the Cryptopia facility and allowed Cryptopia staff back in. The last I heard on Twitter yesterday was Cryptopia did tweet that Monday morning, or Monday, they may have the exchange open in a read-only form, so people will be able to go there and check and verify balances and things like that. You'll have to follow Cryptopia on Twitter for more information on that. All I can say is, you know, in the future, if you are a Cryptopia user, do not send EverGreenCoin to, or any coin, to an old address you used for Cryptopia. Make sure you're generating a new address, because those private keys for those old addresses were compromised to some degree. I'm not certain if EverGreenCoin private keys or anything were compromised. It does not look like it, but I guess we won't know that till for certain until Cryptopia does reopen. And again, I read on Twitter that they're hoping to do so Monday. so after this weekend. On that note, also, a few days ago, oh no, I'm sorry, about a week ago, I did send a letter to the New Zealand police, a letter of praise on behalf of EverGreenCoin and the EverGreenCoin community and the cryptocurrency community at large, thanking them for the communication they have given. There's at least 4 documents on the New Zealand police website. I'm sorry, I don't have a link here in front of me. I'll put one in the description, though. I have posted it, I believe, on Bitcoin Talk. Yes, I did post it on Bitcoin Talk. But the New Zealand police did report throughout this event, this unfortunate event for Cryptopia. So I did send them a letter of praise. They did respond and said they were passing the praise on to the entire investigation team. I was just thanking them, as I said in the letter, rooting out darkness in this industry so that projects like EverGreenCoin don't get a bad reputation in the same industry, of course. So I did want to express my thanks to the New Zealand police and Cryptopia for keeping communication open during this. So that's that. Hopefully Cryptopia can reopen in the very near future, and of course, hopefully, hoping for the least damages for everyone, every coin, but of course, specifically EverGreenCoin. But there is no indication that EverGreenCoin was affected as of now. Okay. Next on my list, the white papers I mentioned in the last community update that we are getting some translations done. We have the Spanish one done. I just have it going to a native Spanish speaker who is going to verify everything, one time for us. And that native speaker unfortunately had a death in their family. So there's been a little bit of delay with that. Of course, we can all understand that. But the Spanish one should be released in the near future as soon as the native speakers, their families mourning and things. So can't, I guess, put a timeline so much on that. But it will be in the very near future. I'm sure of that. The Dutch translation, I had reached out to a community member about a Dutch translation, even offering to compensate them. I haven't heard much back from this community member. I wanted to give the community member first dibs at it. I do know other Dutch speakers, native Dutch speakers, that would do it probably for free. And I'm probably going to start reaching out to a friend that is a native Dutch speaker that will do it for free. I've given this community member about a month to respond to my messages asking if they were going to do it at any point. I'm not rushing any of these translators at all. Of course, I'm trying to be as give them as much leniency as they want. I just have raised the expectation to get some translations out here in the first quarter. We already have the Chinese out. The Spanish will be out real soon. Dutch, I'm sure we'll get that in the first quarter. Russian, I don't want to guarantee that that'll be done in the first quarter, but in the near future, perhaps second quarter. Okay, so that's good as we expand to communities and make the information better accessible for speakers of different languages. One thing that was done and released, I believe in January, that I did not get into the last video update, and I apologize for that, is the authorized effort application. Okay, so as you all probably know, in EverGreenCoin we have authorized efforts here, and these are efforts we're trying to fundraise for. And some of these may have crowd funds, but specifically the dynamic staking for charity. If any organization would like to be added to this, I want to make that easy for people to be added. I don't want to make people think they need to attend meetings or Saturday meetings to do it on, there's People in different time zones can't make the meetings easily, so what we've done is the authorized effort application online here. There is some information that we do need, of course. I tried to keep it as respectful of people's privacy as possible, but yet we are going to be essentially advertising your effort, whatever it might be, litter critter, whatever it might be. We're essentially advertising it. So I do want some contact information. There is an agreement that you have to agree to. Basically just saying you're going to be respectful to EverGreenCoin. You're going to try to inform people to the best of your ability of EverGreenCoin. And you're never going to use the EverGreenCoin logo or name in a harmful manner to the brand, such as deforming the EverGreenCoin logo or anything like that. It's not. We just want to. We need that agreement just for those protections. And there's an electronic signature where you type your name. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. So yeah, you just fill in the information, your information, the phone number. Someone did bring up the idea of what if someone doesn't have a phone, or they can't afford a phone, whatnot. People that are without a phone are usually accustomed to having a phone number that they'll fill out forms with. And of course, there's very little validation done here. So in those cases, you could just put in gibberish, and it would let you submit the document. After these are submitted, they'll come to me, of course, and I'll review them during the board meeting, the community meeting on Saturday. So we'll review those authorized applications. If it looks like something, yes, we want to support, which would probably most likely be the case, then I would be in contact for more information. Primarily, what address do we want to use for staking for charity? Do you want to maintain the address yourself, or would you want myself and the foundation to maintain the address? If you're not well known in the community or known at all, I will probably, or the board and I will probably want to maintain the address ourselves, basically to give us a little bit of protection if someone fills out this form and does something, dips out. We don't want people donating to them if they're not going to uphold the agreement. Oh yes, and part of the agreement, I'm sorry, also is to provide us at least an update every quarter. So I need to be in contact with these authorized effort administrators, people in charge of them. I can't go longer than a quarter without hearing anything, and of course, I'm not asking for much. Of course, if someone has personal difficulties, of course, I'm very understanding of that. I know that. So I just need to know that you're still interested in moving your effort forward. But I'm very understanding to personal situations that might slow that progression or anything. So part of the agreement is you at least give me some contact at some point. And of course, I would try to contact you, of course, by email before I would ever try to call you, I'm sure. But be that as it may, that is part of the authorized effort agreement and part of being an authorized effort in the EverGreenCoin ecosystem. So I encourage anyone that has any effort they're trying to do. It can be any planning event you want. If you need, to raise funds to help to buy safety gloves or trash bags while you're picking up trash. If you need help to raise money for some solar ambition you have, or anything like that, anything, as long as it is positive for the environment, and even. I mentioned in the prior January video update, expanding authorized efforts to more social needs. In that example, I was using cancer relief and things. So if you have an effort that you'd like to raise funds for, and you would like to benefit from dynamic staking for charity, a zero-fee crowdfunding, because we'll crowdfund on our website, evergreencoin.org, for you at no fee. We won't keep anything like GoFundMe does. GoFundMe keeps very big percentages and things like that. We don't keep anything. In fact, usually, even when there's a conversion, if you needed pounds and we collected dollars, usually when there's even a conversion, I try to absorb that, and I've been successful to absorb that, so that every penny, and actually beyond, that is donated to your authorized effort, to your effort, does go exactly to that effort. Okay, and also you get the instant exposure of our community. We've got some very generous people in the community, and your effort would instantly be right in front of them. So I encourage anyone that might be interested to please go ahead and submit the form, and we'll review it during the community meetings every Saturday at 1700 UTC. And that's the first time I'm using UTC. I've been using 1700 GMT in the past. I believe it's more accurate and will be better served if we use UTC rather than GMT. Although they're essentially the same, just one's a time zone and one's a standard. GMT is a time zone, and we should be using UTC. So I apologize for that. I'm human. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's the authorized effort application. Okay, now another very, very big thing we got going on here, launching essentially now, is proof of environment. Okay, so what is proof of environment? And I will, of course, give you links in the description below. But proof of environment, okay, basically how it works is every month we're going to accept submissions of pictures and videos of people doing environmentally friendly tasks. Trash collecting, planting something, house plants, trees, whatever, anything environmentally positive. You can submit a picture, and there's a link down at the bottom, where you'll be able to submit a picture or a video. And now this doesn't require any private information like the authorized effort application. You'll note on the authorized effort application, these fields are required. However, they're not required here. The only thing that is required is that you upload a file of your pictures or video. You enter a payout address where we can send your reward, and agree that we can use that picture or video that you submit for educational / promotional purposes. So we can tweet the picture that you send to help promote and educate about EverGreenCoin. And there is another agreement for that, but it basically just states that you're giving us permission to go ahead and use whatever you submit. I would never make your email address public. If you don't want any information shared, don't submit it in this form. If you don't want your name used, don't submit a name. If you only want Steve used and you don't want your full name used, only submit Steve and not a full name. The email address would never be made public, but I might use that if I needed to contact you about further questions about your proof of environment or perhaps further collaboration. So that your email address would never be made public, of course. The location, that's just what we're going to share in the tweet or on social media when we do end that proof of environment phase, or month rather, because this happens every month. I'm sorry if I didn't say that yet, but every month is a new proof of environment block. And then we are using a lot of the mining terminology of cryptocurrency. of course, with proof of environment, as like proof of stake or proof of work, of course. So anyway, with the location, if you wanted to put just USA, if that's all you cared for us to share, if work event, apple tree planting, if that's all you want us to share when we tweet or share on social media, then please just submit all that information. If you don't care if we're more specific, you can fill in more specific if you don't necessarily care to share that information. And also this other information field here, this is if you have anything you would like mentioned when we do share the picture. For example, like Litter Critters, they have a Facebook group. Perhaps they want the Facebook group linked so that they might gain more notoriety or more exposure from us sharing it on social media. We can link anything there, or if anything you would want any there. That's the best example. Maybe if you had a website, if your effort had a website, and if you just put that information in there, and we would of course share it when we do share the image or video that you do upload. So that starts tomorrow. Basically, it started now for international. But yeah, go ahead and this is very much in the works. I think James and I and Brandon's helped a lot too. We've hopefully covered all the bases. We've gone through things like the Earth Day celebrations, where people were submitting pictures. So we kind of learned from that many things that we need to address here. So I don't know if there's any questions about that. I'm sure I imagine there's going to be. We don't really have an FAQ or anything like that. We do have the introduction where, and I will link it in the description, but where I do hopefully detail well enough but yet keeping it simple. We are trying to keep this simple, that it's easily understood. The way the reward works, okay, every month the EverGreenCoin Foundation is going to put up 500 EverGreenCoin, and there is a staking for charity option. I just enabled it an hour ago or so. Oh, now actually I have to refresh this client. There it is. POE, monthly reward pool. You could stake for charity to the month's reward pool, so you can add to that 500 or copy the address and send a direct donation. Or there is also a crowd fund. I'm sorry, I have to refresh here. Oops. 1 second, please. Okay, yeah, and there's a crowd fund where you can donate to the month's pool, reward pool, with PayPal or credit cards or hundreds of other coins. And that'll be added to the 500 that the foundation put down for the month. And then at the end of the month, we look at all the submissions we have. We review them at the community meeting every Saturday at 1700 GMT. No, I'm sorry, UTC. Apologize. We're going to review them. Make sure, okay, first things first. There's going to be 3 layers or 3 tiers of payment. 20%, 20%, 60%. So we take the entire pool for that month and divide it into those portions. 20%, 20%, and then a 60%. The first 20% will be evenly divided amongst all accepted work shares. So a share has to be accepted. People can't just upload a picture of something that's not acceptable, but like uploading a picture of your coffee cup. Well, unless you happen to have a nice coffee cup that has the EverGreenCoin logo, you won't really qualify for anything. But if you're just planting something, potting a house plant, for example, take a picture of it, and you'll just by doing that, you'll know that you're going to get your share of the first 20%. Now, the second 20%, that goes amongst all of the entries that were accepted on the first tier that have the EverGreenCoin logo or name appearing. We do want to use this information for educational purposes, and there is some promotional benefit to having the logo present, and we do want a reward for that, and that happens on the second layer of the second division of the reward pool for that month. Then the remaining 60%, this is where the judging comes in by myself and anyone present in the community that participates in the community meetings every Saturday, 1700 UTC. Then this is where we can reward people that really go above and beyond. As say, for example, you planted 500 apple trees. You should get rewarded more than someone who picked up 5 cigarette butts, for example. Not that we don't appreciate 5 cigarette butts being picked up, and those would be rewarded in the second layer, but in the first layer. But in the third layer is when this judging can happen, and we can reward people that really go above and beyond. Say you did make a video, and you display the EverGreenCoin logo very very well, for lack of a better word. But if you go above and beyond to really strive for more and everything, that's where you're going to get rewarded out of the third layer, the 60% of that month's prize pool. Okay, so that's in a nutshell how it happens. Hopefully we have the rules well enough that we will have little confusion starting it. I know there might be some questions. Of course, you can relay those questions any way you need to in comments below on this video, or in Discord, or in Bitcoin Talk, or on the website evergreencoin.org, or call me on the phone. I email me, call me. Anything's fine. But hopefully we have some concise instructions here from the get-go, from the gate here, that everyone understands exactly what we're trying to do. Okay, so I hope I've summarized that well enough, you guys. Okay, another thing, the EverGreenCoin stake box from Pi Supply. I have reached out to Joe Whitney, the president of Pi Supply, looking for an update. I sent it to him last night, and I have yet to hear from him, and it's almost midnight, or it's almost 10 o'clock in the UK, so it doesn't look like I'm going to hear from him today. However, I'm sure he'll get back to me soon. Hopefully I can get some new news for you guys. I do realize there hasn't been no new news this year yet, in 2019, on the Solar Staker DIY. Hopefully I can get some information from Pi Supply here very shortly. Tomorrow, I would hope. And I'll, of course, relay that information to you guys. So I apologize, but I can only ask people. I can't make them communicate to me, of course. Okay, so another thing, which I did mention in the prior video update, is our current crowd funds. The internet connectivity for Liama and Kakuma refugee camp. We've raised only like $8 of EverGreenCoin for that. We're looking for 300. I was hoping that we would get it done in the month of February. There is one very, very good video that is on the website here, and it is on the YouTube playlist. I was hoping to get another video from Liama to try to convey to people the benefits of that we can do with $300. You know, not a large amount of money, but we can have a big impact with it. And that's something that we always try to do, and we've been very effective, honestly, having big impact with very little funding sometimes, most times. Okay. Eco Wealth has, and you'll have to follow them on Twitter. I'm sure you'll see, if you do follow EverGreenCoin on Twitter, I'm sure you'll see some retweets from Eco Wealth, and that's our friend Brandon in California, in Los Angeles. He's doing meditations now. Those meditations are open for the entire EverGreenCoin community, and I believe anyone to join. We did have one last night. There's really nothing to do, just at a given time, which is 10 p.m. Pacific time, which translates to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in my time zone. You basically just relax, close your eyes. And Brandon did. I'm sorry. Before you relax and close your eyes, you're supposed to get a plant or be in the vicinity of a plant. If there's a group, I think from what I saw the pictures from Kakuma, if there's a group, they should get a plant and a glass of water and gather around it, or if it's just you, like it was in my case last night, just have it, obviously in front of you or near you, whatever, and you just close your eyes, relax, and it's like a group meditation thing. So yeah, I'm not sure how many people find that their cup of tea. Me myself, I'm open to things of various spiritual realms, if you will. So anyone's welcome to join, but you'll have to follow Eco Wealth probably to be closest on that. I think he is doing another meditation tonight for Liama and the refugees from Kakuma. So of course, I hope to be attending that meditation myself too, if I can make it till 1 o'clock in the morning today. But great stuff. And maybe in the near future, the group meditation will grow to something bigger. Of course, I'll try to support it the best I can so that it can happen. One other thing I wanted to touch on was the stickers and the decals that I mentioned in the prior video update. I have reached back to James. The last I heard from him, it was 2 weeks ago now. And it's not James McGee. It's a different James. So please do not confuse it with James McGee, the treasurer. It is a different James McGee. It's not this fella right here, but a different James. Anyway, he had reached out to me about 2 weeks ago and said he was talking about price, about paying for these construction materials, and he had mentioned 170,000 EGC, and I was like, well, hold up. We were talking like $300, and that was over $3,000. So I think he just did some math wrong, of course, on that. I don't think he's looking for $3,000 for them, and I hope not. But anyway, I did not hear back from him. I did, I did message him on Telegram, and I said, surely you mean 17,000 EGC, not 170,000. And that's obviously the case, but I have not heard back from him. I'm not so much alarmed by that. He was sporadic. I'm on Telegram, Discord, all these things every day. But many people cannot do that every day. Many people cannot do that every day. And that's the case with this fella here that's doing these decals. So I have no news to really give you about that other than he has not indicated he's not interested in doing it. I know he's put some time into it already, so I don't think he's going to just quit you know, or I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. But all I can do is try to communicate once again, as was the case here with Pi Supply. All I can do is try to communicate to people. I can't force them to communicate to me. So that's all I can do. Do the best I can for you guys and report my findings to you. Okay, that's everything. I hope this wasn't too long of an update. I'm sorry. I do try to keep them short, but February has been a very eventful month um, for Evergreen Coins. Most of that happens on Discord, so if you're really interested in day-to-day communications and progress and things like that, please join us on Discord. I'll link it in the description, discord.me/EvergreenCoin. That's where the day-to-day discussion usually occurs, and it has been a fairly, well, very busy February, but some good things happening. And of course, we're very, very looking forward to the submissions for proof of environment in its first month here. So we'll see how all that goes, and that's everything. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Thank you for the continued support, and take care.